All right, principles, the laws, law of stewardship. Stewardship, the law of stewardship, it's a law. We think of stewardship as like managing our finances, managing. Actually, it's a law. That the degree of care, stewardship is about caring. The degree of care that you give to any resource, the resource might be your time. The resource might be your physical form. The resource might be managing your mind. The resource might be managing your money. Time, energy, money. The greater degree, the degree of care that you give to any resource determines the exact yield and production you get from that resource. This is fascinating. Common sense will tell you the more you work out, the less energy you'll have. But the truth is, the more you work out, the more energy you have. That's fascinating, isn't it? That if you give greater stewardship to your physical form, you're going to get more out of it. My mother was an incredible steward and still is of her physical form. She's 84, 85. If she came in the work here, and she's been in some of these workshops, some of you were in Rochester, we did a client appreciation function. I brought my mom, and Oscar and all these guys are like, Mike comes up, he goes, "You're Steve's mother? Oh my God, you look younger than he does." Her stewardship of her physical form was impeccable. My dad died at 69, she's 85. She just went to her physical. Doc says, "You're going to live well into your 90s. I mean, she's just high level of stewardship. High level of stewardship of her money, high level stewardship of her physical form, her life. Give to get. So the fact is that when we're giving to other people, we're getting back. If the law of stewardship is true and correct, the lie from the lower self is that business is a zero-sum game, that if I give to you, I'll have less for me. So I ain't giving to you. I'm actually going to get from you. That's why I'm prospecting you. I want to get from you. I don't want to give. But if the law of stewardship is correct, the more value I give, the more I'll get in return. That's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Now, I want to say something about these laws and principles. Don't believe me. In fact, don't believe anything I say. Believe your own experience. You're going to do exercises around these things. You're going to debate and talk it out with your fellow classmates here, if you will. Believe your own experience. How many people early on believed that they had to get first? Okay? Some of you understood you got to give. You got to give value to get more profit. You got to give first. You give first, then you get. You serve first, then you're served. I don't see one spiritual discipline on earth that says, go out there and take from the world. The world owes you. You don't have to do anything. Go take, go take, go take. Is there any spiritual discipline that says that? Any spiritual doctrine or any personal development doctrine? Go get, go get, go get. What do they all say? Give. Give to get. Law of stewardship's easy. Give to get. If you learn to manage your time more, you will no longer wonder where your time went. When you learn to manage your money more, you'll no longer wonder where your money went. If you learn to manage your mind more, you'll no longer wonder where your inner peace went. So this is give to get. Next law. Law of vibration and attraction. It's an old law, it's a scientific law, it's a spiritual law. Biblically, it's written as the law of sowing and reaping. As ye sow, so ye shall reap. If we're looking at the Judeo-Christian teachings. We see this principle in Islam. We see this principle in Hinduism. We see this principle in Buddhism. You know, Buddha and Krishna talked about the law of karma, right? That thoughts you focus on, whatever you hold in mind, tend to attract people, events, and results in harmony with the original thought that was first projected, right? That we're thinking and we're sending thought vibrations through words and actions, and that we're reaping back, right? That's sowing, and then we're reaping back a harvest. Okay? It's not accidental. Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues because you're constantly vibrating your mindset out as actions in the world, right? This is called the law of sympathetic resonance in science. The law of sympathetic resonance, which says like attracts like. So whichever, some of you move more towards the scientific domain, cool. That's fine. Some of you move more towards the religious or spiritual domain, great. What I'm hoping is that we can understand that science and spirit, like two wings of a bird, are not there to contradict each other, but actually there to verify each other. They're actually really saying the same thing, especially around truth. And finally, the law of awareness. And I've been referencing this for a while, and this is really important because you're going to see some things that you're doing that aren't really working in your practice, that aren't really working in your life. You become aware of it. Now, the hard part is jumping from this part of you that says, I don't want to do that, to this part of you and take ownership. And we said our intention was for you to see some of the contradictions, take ownership so you can change and adapt and make a new plan around it. And the law of awareness says what? You can only change what you are aware of, and of course cannot change what you are unaware of. So that's really important.